Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Bell Ringers podcast here at Philly Sports Sports. I am Colin Daly alongside Ben Goldstein. We are super excited to bring to you some Phillies news today. We have a lot to cover, so we're going to get right into this. Ben,
I will say,
what do you think of Nick Castellanos? Let's get right to
first
it.
of all, before Castellanos, you got it. You got the intro.
I did, yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, that took us 3 tries.
Mhm.
Just like to point that out.
Between
Well,
broken chairs, dying
broken
electronic
chairs.
devices.
Broken chairs, wires, problems. What were you saying?
I don't want to know what's going to happen next. I'm sure the power's going to cut out and we're all going to – who even knows? We're not going to go there, though. You know where we are going to go, Ben? We are going to go to Nick Castellanos.
Mr. Nick, what I'm most happy about with this is I feel like they got him for cheap. How much was the contract? 5 years, $100 million?
Yeah, and when you do that math, I know if you did not watch episode 1, we all know that Ben's subject is definitely English and not math, which is okay. I'm probably actually the other way around. That's okay.
Can't do math. Although I do have a 95 in math right now.
That's impressive. Very impressive.
Marking period ends in 2 weeks, so I'm very happy right now.
Our trimester just ended.
And the teacher said no more tests, so I should be fine.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, we have like quizzes every week. Well, I'm in geometry, and that is the bane to my existence.
Yeah, not in geometry.
But that's okay. That's, like I said, geometry is, you can definitely wait for that. You don't want to do that. Anyway, this is a great signing. They got them for the same yearly price as Kyle Schwarber, which blows my mind. Which I guess we may as well just start with this. If you did not see our live on well, I'm sure everyone knows it by now, but the Phillies signed Kyle Schwarber to a 4-year, 79 and a few odd numbers, $1 million contract. So
I don't know why they're just going to do it. Why couldn't they just do it?
I don't know either, but it is what it is. Round it up. That's what I do when I'm in math. My answer is 13. The multiple choice is 14. Yeah, it's 14.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do.
Yeah, that's how we do it. Especially on standardized tests and stuff. Hey, you also round up. But so $20 million a year for both those guys, approximately. And this is such an excellent signing. Castellanos, 300 hitter last year. He drove in 100 guys, 30-plus home runs.
Man of faith.
And for those of you who did not watch his press conference, he is an interesting character. He really expresses his opinions. I'll quote this. This might not be exact, but he goes, I don't have a college degree. I hit baseballs. I like that.
And then after that, it was how he – and then after that, I'm pretty sure that's how I feed my family or something. Like that. The dude is a professional hitter. Let's just say that. Nick Castellanos can hit a baseball.
Well, yeah,
he can hit a baseball very good and very far. That's exactly what the Phillies need. And he's a great DH. He can play the outfield. You can put him DH, outfield, wherever you want. I mean, it's perfect. It's perfect for Joe because he likes to move guys around a lot.
Mm-hmm. And the connection he has with Bryce Harper, I think people are completely overlooking. I mean, if you saw Scott Boras, who said that he was getting phone calls, so Scott Boras is the agent of Nicholas Castellanos, was getting phone calls from Bryce Harper in regards to the status of Castellanos's free agency 3-4 times a day. Now, I'm sure he was exaggerating, but Castellanos, Schwarber, Castellanos, Harper, they were roommates when they played in the Olympics. They won a gold medal together a while back on the USA team for baseball. So they have that connection. Castellanos and Harper love each other. I think these are going to be the 2 guys who lead the team because they're so similar in the fact that they're here to win. And I think that Schwarber has a little bit of that in him. Like, I know in his press conference, he was talking about like how has expectations to make the playoffs, and he wants to help drive this team to a World Series and even possibly a title. And Castellanos is the same way, but on even a higher level. I mean, you saw him. He tells it to you straight out. He doesn't hide anything. He doesn't cover anything up. And he's here to win. And that's what the Phillies need. They need a guy who's here to win. And both those guys, Schwarber and Castellanos, are going to play their full potential, no matter if they're winning 10-2, losing 10-2, or in a tie game in Game 7 of the World Series. That's just the way it is. Those 2 guys are.
Something else that's, I think, with Castellanos is no one screams Philadelphia in the MLB more than Nick Castellanos. I mean, the dude as you said, he doesn't hide anything. And he's always either flexing on someone or he's chatting at someone. The benches will definitely clear a few times this year with either the Mets or the Braves because Castellanos will be talking to someone. I just know it. He did it. What was it, against the Cardinals last year or something?
Well, yes, that was against the Cardinals, and he did a little flex on my buddy Yadier Molina, who I'm sure that everyone knows that Yadier Molina is my favorite player of all time in baseball. And he did the whole thing where Yadi was, going down a block of ball. He just did his muscles. I can't remember what he did.
Yeah, I
But
just saw the video.
I'll
He
always
did
hate Castellanos a little bit for that, but it's okay. I'm happy to have him in Philly.
here's the-
Oh, is that it? Is that Yachty there? Oh, no, that's not Yachty. That's I
That's,
think that one might have been Jake Woodford.
yeah, it was Woodford. That's who it was. Yachty was because the ball was overthrown. I remember.
Yeah, he was
Woodford's
probably. I
one.
think it was thrown either to the left of him or over him. He went back to get it, and then the pitcher covered him.
Mhm.
But there was actually this was a really busy week. Trevor Story went to the Red Sox. I think we all really expected that. This one I could not believe. Carlos Correa, the Twins.
I woke up that morning after I saw Castellanos sign with the Phillies. I saw Carlos Correa, the Twins. A little confused.
I think we all were.
Carlos Correa to the. I mean, that's where he got the most money. I think that's how Carlos Correa was rolling this offseason.
Well, yeah, and he got the most amount, the highest. His new contract will give him the highest annual salary of all infielders in the history of Major League Baseball. And again, this is just infielders. He is getting $35.3 million per year. That blows my mind.
There you go.
I
That's
would-
why I went to Minnesota. Who knew the Minnesota Twins could pay someone $33 million a year? For how many years?
$35.3 million per year. That blows my mind.
How many years?
I think 4 or 5. I think 5. That's definitely most likely wrong, but so it's not I don't know if it was actually it might have been a longer contract. We're gonna get on that now, but same thing. Trevor Story, he went to the Red Sox, and he was actually less than Correa, which I was a little bit surprised by. I thought that Story would have gotten a higher market, but I was wrong. Clearly,
after the Phillies got Castellanos, I saw we were over the cap, and I was like, you know what, John? You really want us to like you
3 years, $105 million.
for Correa?
Correct.
Okay. I was thinking to myself, John. It's like I was like sitting down with him at dinner talking about it. I was like, John, you really want us to like you? Spend more money on Trevor Story. He obviously didn't do that, which is fine because he was way over the cap. But you're over the cap now. Why not just go more over the cap? You're not trying to be cheap if you go over the cap.
Right. And here's the thing. It has nothing to do with how much you go over the cap. It's a tax, right? So the first year they go over, they're going to pay 20%, right, of the amount that they spend. So it's not like the 20% of where they're at 200 and I think they're at 228 million. I don't think 20% more of 228 million is going to be that much drastic than 250 20% of 255 million. I mean, they can afford it. They're already going to pay their 20%. You may as well just go over more at that point. And even if it wasn't a big name like Story, Correa, Bryant, who was already signed at that point in time, go after someone, a relief pitcher, a starter. And there are still some guys out there. I tried to memorize the whole list. I couldn't, not memorize, but there's so many actually names on here that I think people are just completely passing up on.
I don't think the Phillies are dumb. I still feel like there's
guys out there.
They still need another reliever. Familia.
Andrew Miller's out there. Trevor Rosenthal, Dylan Betances is on this list.
I would
Michael
like to see
Conforto.
I could.
Yeah, I like Rosenthal.
I could see the Phillies getting Trevor Rosenthal. He was one of my guys that I liked.
Yeah,
before, like
Betances, Happ, Chris Archer. He has to turn it around at some point. I doubt it'll be in Philly. John Lester. The
John
list I'm
Lester,
using,
oh my God. Hold
oh,
on.
the
John
whole Cubs
Lester.
team we reunited.
Yeah,
Lester, Castellanos, Schwarber, different generations, but still reunited. But
John Lester
uh,
was so good with the
so
Cubs.
back
He was
back in like
unbelievable.
2016, their World
Yeah.
Series year.
Yeah, he was unbelievable. I remember I saw him against the Phillies and we almost got no hit that game. But I mean,
Here's one for you. Blake Parker. He used to sweat on the mound so much, like not sweat like try hard, like teen lingo, but sweat like actually sweat.
you remember Jared Hughes?
I do remember he was a sprinter.
Mhm.
I love J. He came from the Reds.
Remember I sent you that video? It was one of the reasons I wanted to go to that game was I wanted to see Jared Hughes run in. So hold on, we gotta scroll up to the top of our text. I don't even think it's there anymore. No, it deleted itself. I was at a Phillies game in 2019. It was like a couple weeks after me and Colin met at a Phillies game. I don't remember how I got your number, how that even stemmed, but whatever. Jared Hughes comes in from the outfield. I got the greatest shot of it. Tracked him. I was like 116, 117 on the right field line. Tracked him. I was
Yeah.
like row like 5. Tracked him the whole way to the pitcher's mound. It was the greatest video I've ever made in my recording.
Now, was that the same game that Realmuto rolled his eyes?
No. This was
No?
2 games after Harper hit his grand slam. Again, this was against
Against the
Padres.
Cubs. So they went Cubs, Padres. Yeah,
It went Cubs, Padres. It was that Saturday night where they snapped the streak. Of course. Couldn't win.
Of course, right. So yeah, now do you have good luck at Phillies games with wins?
I mean, most of the games I've been to, they've won.
I never go to Phillies games when they lose. Now I jinxed it, of course. I'm going to 2 or maybe 3 this weekend. But for some reason, I have ridiculous luck at Phillies games, and I have no idea why.
Well, maybe
It's actually kind of weird.
Maybe we have to go to more games.
Like I think I'm like 7-1. The last
The only games
maybe like
where
season and
the
a
only
half.
games I really go to where they lose, I feel at this point, they lose by at least 10 runs.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah,
I
went
was
to
at
one
this
game. They lost to the Marlins like 13-6, and I was like, dude, what?
I was at this one. It was when was it? It was in like July of 2021. They were playing the Braves. I was all the way up. I remember they had to put Ronald Torreyes in the game. It was another great video by me. First pitch, he gives a nuke to Dansby Swanson. The ball like hit off the screen. It was ridiculous. I mean, I don't know if I hit off the screen. That's a little bit of exaggeration, but it almost made its way up to Harry the Case, or over Harry the Case. It went into like the upper deck in left field, like almost at the top. It was hilarious. And I had to.
Yeah, Phillies games are weird when I go.
And then I was at Spencer Howard's debut. I stood outside that game. They lost by like 8. And then I was at 2 games in 2018. It was kids' opening day, the Fanatics' birthday. They lost by 10 in both games. And then I was also at the last home game of the season last season, where they lost to the Pirates like 15-2. Where Hans Kraus.
How is that possible?
Where Hans Kraus started and gave up a home run.
Oh yeah, my buddy Hans.
Hate that guy.
And that's
Anyway.
Joel Embiid's middle name too, right?
What?
I'm pretty sure it's Joel Embiid's middle name.
It is.
Maybe
Anyway, I
there's
want to
like
talk
some weird
about
connection there,
Brad
hopefully.
Miller. I want to talk about Brad Miller to the Rangers. I want to touch on that really quickly.
Oh, he got so overpaid.
We got overpaid, and the Phillies, I feel like their first 2 moves should have been their first 2 re-signs should have been to re-sign Hector Neris, which they failed, and to re-sign Brad Miller, which they failed. I love Brad Miller off the bench more than I love Bryce Harper in batting third in the starting lineup. That is an exaggeration. Brad Miller is a professional DH. When you need him to hit a home run, he hits a home run. When you need him to get a double, he gets that double. He is a professional pinch hitter. He's a professional hitter. He comes off the bench and does his job. That's exactly what you want from a bench player.
Yeah, and there's a lot of guys I think who actually went to the East, which I hope do not negate the Phillies moves.
Oh, they will.
Because, well, I mean, if you look at some of these, they are relevant. Kenley Jansen went to the Braves for a ridiculous contract.
Philly
I'm
should have
looking at
got
the list that I put on our agenda. We have Jorge Soler to the Marlins.
Jorge Soler. Love saying his name.
Soler absolutely mashes the ball. I mean, he's a guy who is going to give the Marlins depth. He's going to give them a very good four hitter who's going to consistently get the bat in the ball and hit it extremely hard, which can be scary in some circumstances. I will say that.
The Marlins
The
are
Phillies
going.
lost Arch.
The Marlins are going to be very good in the coming years. So just be prepared for that.
Not this year, I don't think. I think in the next few years.
In the coming years, like 2 or
Yeah,
3
this
years.
year they're so far off.
Be ready for
it
the
would
Miami
take a miracle.
Marlins to be dominating the NL East. The Braves will fall off. The Mets will get old. The Phillies will be the Phillies. And I don't remember anybody else. The Nationals are the Nationals. They stink. Although Juan Soto is going back to the Nationals. So that sucks.
Well, that was one. His arbitration was for 1 year, I think. So
Well,
we'll see how that progresses.
It's up this year, and I feel like the Nationals gave him a ridiculous amount of money. So
Yeah, I agree.
but they still stink.
Yeah, so that'll be a very interesting dynamic to see how the NL East plays out. Now, I do think that even though the Marlins will still finish under 500, still be an average to below average team, I do think that the Marlins finish 4th place with the Washington Nationals in 5th place. I mean, have you seen the Nationals starting infield for this upcoming season?
The Nationals, Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Josh
Let me just
Bell,
remind you real quick. Josh Bell first. I'm gonna skip
Cesar
around a little bit.
Hernandez at second. I heard.
Mm-hmm. Now
Absolutely.
they have Carter Kieboom at third, who's their starting third baseman. He's hurt. Do you know who they just signed?
Michael Franco. I loved Michael Franco. He was my first Phillies jersey. That is embarrassing. So we're not going to talk about that.
Oh, I love Michael Franco too.
Love
I
him.
have. Hold on. Let's take a field trip in the room here.
So
We have a Michael Franco poster.
I have a Michael Franco fathead in my room. I have a Michael Franco jersey.
Oh yeah, we have Michael Franco. It's okay.
Yeah,
Has a little
I
Michael
have that
Franco
as
in
a
their life.
fathead.
It's all right.
They gave
Not a
that
worry.
out. That my first fan appreciation day was Ryan Howard's last game. I was there. They gave it a Michael Franco fathead and Ryan Howard head, literally like his head on a popsicle stick. I have actually a really funny picture from that day on the show.
I was at that game. Yeah, it was a good one. They had the Howard head.
Yeah,
I literally have that sitting right there.
yeah. I tried to take mine down and it ripped the whole thing. But yeah, I couldn't
Yeah,
have
mine's
been.
buried under a whole
I
bunch
could
of
not
stuff
have been
when
the
I get
only
mad.
third grader doing this.
Oh yeah, I was doing that too.
Yeah.
I have 3 of them sitting in that bin right there.
Yeah, I only got 2. It
myself.
was too crowded to go stupid. My go-to at giveaways is to walk up and down the aisles looking for the extras. It's exactly
Oh,
what
100%.
I do. Bobbleheads. I got when I was at the Roy Halladay game, the retirement where the Phillies spanked the Mets. I was in the Hall of Fame club. I was walking past a bunch of sections. There was 5 of the mini statues sitting.
Oh, this guy?
Yeah, there was 5 of those sitting.
Look at me. It's like we planned this. I swear to God, we didn't. Did we? We didn't plan this.
No, and is that the Michael Franco bobblehead right there?
Wait a minute. The one, was it Sprint on it?
I don't remember. I know he's wearing the cream jersey.
This guy?
There you go. I was at that game.
I'll
It's
tell you
up in
though,
my room.
my favorite one. Let me go down. This is my broadcaster section in my room here.
Oh boy,
Harry the K. I got this.
I got that off eBay.
Oh yeah, I got this from my aunt and uncle. So the stem of my Cardinals obsession comes from my mom's side of the family, my uncle. So they never actually went out to St. Louis, my aunt and my uncle, but they went to every single Phillies game, or every single Cardinals game in Philadelphia. But
I guess the
saying,
Phillies
speaking
played
of the Cardinals,
I guess
they
the Phillies played the
signed.
Cardinals that day.
Oh yeah. I was actually I might have been at that one. I can't remember, but
No,
Nicholas.
I wanted to go
Cannot
to that
speak
very
tonight.
bad, but I'm pretty sure it was a weeknight, and I can't go to games on weeknights, so I bought that off of eBay for like $5. Absolute steal.
Oh, definitely. Speaking of the
Anyway,
Cardinals, Corey Dickerson, he went to the Cardinals. That is a guy who I talked about in at least 2 podcast episodes. I really wanted him to come to Philly. No can do on that. I do think he does serve some purpose in St. Louis with their outfield being 3 younger guys. They have no depth. The Cardinals. Someone will get hurt on that squad, so doesn't surprise me.
Archie Bradley to
He's
the
got
Angels.
Yep. Same with Ryan Tepera, who was a
I
Phillies
booed.
target,
I was at least
and Michael
three.
Givens,
I
who
was
was
at
a Phillies
least
target.
3 games straight where I booed Archie Bradley off the field. I mean, the whole stadium did. It was one time against the Diamondbacks, he let up like 3 runs in like 4 batters. And then there was another time where he blew the lead. I mean, it was at least 3 games in a row where I was at. I booed Archie Bradley off the field. And if you know me, I go to too many Phillies games. And I booed
Oh
Archie
yeah, me
Bradley.
too. It's okay. Yeah, it happens. Sometimes you just end up at the stadium somehow. You don't
And
know how
I
you get
will
there.
be at opening day and the second game of the season. So if
I
someone
believe I
can,
will be.
if someone could give me some tickets to that Sunday game so I can complete the weekend, I appreciate that.
You know, Ben, you should go to the game. Let me see. Definitely the game on the 12th, I think.
12th,
13th.
the 13th. I will
It's a
not
business
be there.
person special.
I'm not skipping another day of school to go to a Phillies game. I have a friend that's going.
Oh yeah, I think we have off that day, which is why we're going.
Yeah, I
But,
don't.
anyway, so we have a good segment here. This is gonna be quick, probably only a few minutes. We're gonna get. It's a debate. It is the worst statistic in baseball. Ben, I'm going to put 90 seconds on my phone timer.
Oh God.
I'm actually going to turn off my notifications first because who knows what will come up here. And then we are going to put 90 seconds on the clock and see what you have in store for us. So do you know what stat you're going to do?
I do. I didn't write anything down, but I do know what I'm doing. I feel like I kind of hinted it to you because I say this a lot.
Okay, ready? Go ahead.
This isn't the worst stat in baseball, but this is the most overrated and overlooked at stat in baseball, and it is called batting average. You can have 10 at bats and hit the ball once, and you'll have a horrible batting average. You can have 100 at bats and hit the ball 10 times and have a horrible batting average. But how many at bats do teams play average a year? Like 500?
Yeah.
Usually you hit the ball 300 times a year. You get on base how many times? Don't look at batting average for a whole season. That's like the worst thing you can look at. On base percentage, how many times you get on base. OPS. You got to look at other stuff. I don't like batting average because it doesn't show you how the batter actually hits. It just shows you how they've performed averagely, which isn't really what you want to look at when you're hitting baseballs. That's how they vote for MVP, which is why I hate MVP voting. They should really look at off some other stuff, which I think we talked about in the other episode. I don't feel like talking about, and I feel like I spent this up too much. So yeah, batting average is the most overlooked at and overused stat in baseball, and they should really fix it and start looking at OPS and on base percentage and home runs, even though they already do that too much still. Home runs is also overrated.
All right, time is out.
That was a roller coaster.
Right.
That's what happens when I don't write things down.
No, I'm going to be honest with you right now. I'm thinking of every stat I can, running it through my head, and I do not know what I'm going to do. So I'm going to put 9 seconds on the clock, and I'm going to win this.
All right, here we go. This will be fun.
All right, timer started, and I'm going to say the worst stat in baseball is wins above replacement. That's WAR. While I think WAR is an important stat to look at from the perspective of a scout or from someone who is looking to, they say, this is the player that I have, this is the player that I want, this is the guy with this WAR who I think could improve my team. The stat is, first of all, I'm a numbers guy. So I don't know if it's really a statistic. This is more of an analytic. There's no formula behind it. It's a judgment thing, which I think is the biggest problem with it. People from different companies, ESPN, Spot Track, Wikipedia, and then there's people, and then there's the first party sources like ESPN who are coming up with these, and the third party sources who are saying, well, ESPN has this is this player's score, but then help me out. What's another? CBS Sports has this as their war. And what does that tell you about a player? It tells you two contradicting things that you have no idea what they mean. And for people to see this number and see two different numbers, I just don't see the purpose of that. And I don't understand why anyone would want that as a stat to consider when it's more of an opinion than a fact or a stat. All right, my time is out. So comment in the comments. That sounded weird. Comment who you believe has the better argument of what is the worst or most overrated stat in the game of baseball. So,
Dude,
for our finals,
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I've been explained to what WAR is at least 400 times. Still don't get it. Still don't look at it.
no. I mean, for pitchers, it's okay, but for hitters, it's just, I don't know. I just can't see how that's rational in any sense.
Yeah, I
But
don't
this is
get it
going to
for
be fun
hitters.
too. This is going to be really fun too. So this is our last segment. We have 3 segments today. I picked out 5 players who I think are really key to what is going to happen with this 2022 Phillies team. The first of these players, the first 2 of these players, I'm pretty sure you all guess. And those 2 are Didi Gregorius and Bobble Boy Alec Bohm. So with them,
I will
we also
say,
have
I
Matt
will say, one
Zierling.
of the reasons I love Alec Bohm is for what he does in the national anthem. I'm gonna be honest, it's really smart. For a third baseman, this ball is coming 105 miles per hour right past you. You can't turn your head in fast enough. You have to use your eyes. So he shifts his eyes in different directions from the American flag, which I think is really smart and really cool. And I actually use it sometimes when I'm playing a baseball game.
It's interesting. And I never knew that. But Matt Zierling, who's probably the front runner for the center field job right now with Odubel Herrera's oblique injury. He'll be out 4 to 6 weeks per Phillies manager Joe Girardi. Adam Hazley, who had some issues surrounding his personal life last year. He returned to baseball and is not doing too bad this spring. And the ultimate failure in the Phillies organization, the guy they paid $24 million over 6 years and has yet to produce anything other than a 253 season where he was on and off, is Scott Kingery. So I will start with Alec Bohm and Scott Kingery in one. And I see them so similar. They started out hot and they just can't figure it out. I'm hoping Bohm can figure it out a little bit more than Kingery does. Considering the expectations for Bohm this year, or especially Bohm and probably Kingery too, is a complete bounce back season for them to, reshape their swing, get the bat on the ball more, find more barrel, get hard contact. And their 2021s were not good. They were both horrendous. I mean, very, very bad. And I think we can say the same for Didi Gregorius too, who Ben will get to in a second. But those 2 guys really need to step it up next year, or one of them they'll lose a roster spot. They can't keep. I mean, Bohm last year looked so lost, the same way I think Scott Kingery looked lost in 2020 in that shortened season. Now, some of that could be with the pandemic. Kingery got a little off flow. I do think that Kingery will figure it out, I hope. Same thing with Bohm. But if they don't, that is going to be a serious, serious issue the Phillies are going to have to deal with.
This isn't Trenton with Matt Vierling. It's not showing up.
No, I see it.
Matt Vierling in Trenton. He signed a baseball I have like a whole baseball full of Matt Vierling. I got Rafael Marchand on there. Here we go. I can do it. There you go.
That's neat.
Marchand. I got Moniak here. Another.
Oh, he's here on our list. I don't know. I didn't put him
He's not. And he's another failure. Who else? I got Verling, obviously. I forget who this guy is, but I have like a whole baseball full with Lehigh Valley Iron picks from last year. Except,
That's
of
neat.
course, that was when Didi Gregorius, Nick May Todd, and Spencer Howard were down at that time. And those schmucks decided to go out the underground tunnel out of Trends, which is really annoying. So, yeah.
I actually got one from well, now they're the Jersey Shore Blue Claws. Then they're the Lakewood Blue Claws, and I
Oh, I
got
got
Connor Brog.
one. I got one from the Blue Claws. I got Adam Hazley. It was like right when he got drafted. It was like his third or fourth game with the Blue Claws.
Yeah, that actually, I'm trying to remember who's on mine. I know Damon Jones is on there. You can still hear me, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Connor Brogdon, Zach Warren, Will Stewart.
Brogdon, my God.
Brogdon's not bad. I'm a big Brogdon fan. This guy right here.
Remember
falling,
when
my binders.
Connor Brogdon was so hyped up in the beginning of the year and he stunk?
I do remember. I don't know what they all saw in him too. Even though he had like, I guess they figured that his ERA inflated after his really big, like that one horrible like third of an inning 5 earned runs that he was like that like wasn't him. I don't know. We'll see. I don't think Brogdon had a terrible 2022.
He's
I
still
do
not.
think that he'll be.
He's still not great. I'll say.
Yeah, I think he's a little overhyped. All right, Ben, what can you give us on Didi?
Didi Gregorius, he's more than due for a bounce back year. That's at least how
Played
I'm
excellent
looking.
today.
That's
As
how I'm
we're
looking.
recording
He
this
did
on
have
Wednesday.
he did have a good day on Wednesday down in Clearwater. I love Didi. He's a great dude. He said he had arm problems last year. I feel. He said he had arm problems. He said it's from the vaccine, which is BS because that's not how the vaccine works. And I think it was against it. I don't want to get political. He just had arm problems all year, which I can say I have arm problems all year and still stink. But I feel like he's more than due for a bounce back year. That's the only way I can look at it right now. He's going to be your starting shortstop. Although Bryson Stott has been tearing it up down there, you have to start Didi at shortstop.
Yeah, I think it goes. I think the same thing goes for Matt Vierling. Vierling, obviously a not very highly regarded prospect, but now that Luke Williams has been designated for assignment, I have
Which
a
is
feeling
so
he's going to end up
stupid.
being. See, I don't know about that. His minor league statistics weren't great. Doesn't have a ton of major league experience.
But he was getting
I
that
mean-
major league experience. I got an argument on Twitter the other day about this, about how bad he could hit. When he hit the ball. I mean, he might have not hit the ball crazy amount of times like people want him to after he hit that home run, but he still hit the ball occasionally. And you don't have a lot of guys on this team anymore that can play every single position efficiently.
It's true. And I hope he's back in the Phillies organization. I have a gut feeling he'll end up getting claimed on waivers by another team. But I think that Vierling and Hazley will probably – Vierling will start in center field. I'd love to see Hazley get a chance this year. I think that he was a little bit underrated in the rookie season. He obviously struggled immensely last year to take some time off away from baseball. But he's back. He's playing well, very well this spring. But a lot of guys look good. I mean, if you just look at the numbers as of right now on Wednesday, I'm sure that next week when we're recording this, things will look a lot different. But the numbers are good. I mean, there's a lot of guys who have high OPSs. They're getting hard contact. We've seen some scorchers from Harper, from Schwarber. I mean, you got Harper with the base hit today, I believe. I think it was base hit. He had that first at bat of the season, I think it was. The line drive. JT Realmuto this spring hitting 625. Rhys Hoskins and Johan Camargo are each hitting 286. Didi is hitting 500 with a 1292 OPS, which is pretty disgusting. And there are some guys struggling. Gene Segura, 222. He had a 2-run single today, so that's good. But I'm excited for this team. I think, and actually, I'm hoping that I have an article on this. I haven't even run this by Ben yet. I am a big believer right now that the shortstop position is going to make or break the Phillies 2022 season. That will 100% make or break it. I think offensively and defensively, and I'll get into that a little bit later in the article, not today. But I do think that those guys really need to meet the expectations that were set for them, when they originated as a Philly. I think that we can all agree on that.
Mhm.
So that'll be an interesting season with Bohm, Didi, Deerling, Hazley, and Kingery. Ben,
I don't think Kingery makes Major League roster at all this year. I don't even
No.
think he gets a look. I don't even think
At all this year?
at all. I don't even think Joe Girardi looks at him. Scott Kingery. Here we go. Scott Kingery sucks. My grandmother can hit the ball better than he can.
This is true.
I mean, I don't care how much he improved at all in the last 2 years or so, which I don't even know if he did. I haven't even been looking at any of his stuff. Scotty, well, I love calling him Scotty King when he was good. Scotty King, he might make an appearance and then get sent down as like a little filler for a few days, but he's not the first look. He's not the second look. He might be fifth or sixth look if you need him. I mean, he stinks.
Now here to play a little bit of devil's advocate, and for the, as I always like to say, for the quality of the content, I'm going to disagree with that. I think that Scott Kingery does not make the opening day roster, but I think he is one of the first players to get recalled. And this is more of a transitive thing, I think. You look at it from a standpoint of what I don't believe in is that Scott Kingery has a $24 million contract over 6 seasons. He is owed $4 million. And who controls the roster is the front office. And who paid him those $24 million is the front office. And I think transitively he gets a chance. Not because he's shown to be anything better than the minimum salary players. I think that's just because, unfortunately, that's the way the culture works. That's the way that the world works, is that, you get paid more money, you get more chances, and that shouldn't be like that. But, it is what it is right now. I mean, I think that that's going to cause guys like Nick Maton, Luke Williams, if he ends up back in the Phillies organization, Mickey Moniak, Bryson Stott, because it's all about the publicity, right? Well, actually, I shouldn't say Moniak. I think Moniak will get another chance this year. Not because he's the best player, because he was the number 1 overall draft pick in 2016, right? Not first round, first overall. And, when the Phillies waste that looks bad in the front office, right? So the front office controls the team. They control who's on it, who's not on it. So does that mean that they're going to put who they think's best for the team, or who they think makes them look the best?
They're gonna do whatever gets butts and seats, whatever's best for the team. I know that they're trying to look good, which I just actually saw a funny tweet that the Phillies might not be the best team, but they're definitely the most attractive, and it's our rat friend in the picture. To go off of Scott Kingery, I don't know. Moniak, I feel like will definitely find his way up once or twice this year. And then he'll hit 0.68 and then can set back down and then come back up, 0.68, come back down, and he'll have one of those.
And then he'll go up to 111. He's a starter, which is okay. That's what we do.
Yeah, he'll go.
Okay.
He'll have a little hot streak of 111.
A hot streak. He's gonna go from cold to cool. Let's just start with that. I don't know if you call it a hot streak.
I was kidding with the hot streak.
That's true. I know.
His
For him, it's a hot streak.
We'll say his plus 32 degree streak.
Right. Yeah.
He's
getting above freezing.
It's always a positive.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that, like I said, I think there's a lot of little things that are going to determine the Phillies season. Because a lot of the things we know is going to happen. We know what JT is going to do. We know what Wheels is going to do. We know what Reese is going to do. I'd say we know what Gene's going to do. 280 hitter. He's going to be clutch. He's going to get the bat on the ball, spread the left on the pull side, or shoot the other way on the right side down the line. We know what we're going to get from Castellanos. Schwarber. Now there's our boy Nick Castellanos. There's Bryce. We know what we're going to get from these guys. It's going to be the third base position, the shortstop position, the center field position that will determine the fate of this team. It's like we have, we know we're going to get all across the board. There are these 3 holes in the board. And if you can find the tacks to fill them, the Phillies are a successful team. If those tacks have loose ends or those tacks do not have an end, that's where problems start to occur. So that is our update on the Phillies. We will have some coverage this weekend and into next week when we have our 4th episode of Bell Ringers coming out. We're probably seeing this on Sunday. That's when we usually post on Sundays. You will see Sunday.
I might get this up by sometime sooner than that.
Yeah, probably Saturday or Sunday.
Jimmy
You're probably
Butler
going to be seeing
Jimmy Butler and Miami head coach just got in a fight, so that's pretty funny.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah, Butler told the head coach, "I'll beat your ASS." So
that's nice.
That's pretty funny.
Oh, very nice. And then you'll see us on April 3rd as we are previewing the regular season. Hopefully by then we will have some ideas for a lineup, which was originally going to be in the plan.
We might have some guests. Still work in the progress.
Yes, we might have some special guests, some people that you probably know from 2020. Actually,
someone that you might know from a very questionable tweet a few days ago. I don't know if you saw that.
I did not see. We'll talk about that when we end the recording. But without further ado, let's get you guys out of here. Thank you for tuning in to the 3rd episode of the Phillies Bell Ringers podcast.
Smile and wave.
Tune in. Yes, smile and wave. We will see you guys on April 3rd. Thank you guys for being here. Make sure to follow all of our socials, including subscribe on YouTube. Ben knows we are quite close to 500 subscribers, and getting there would be a very, very big milestone for Philly Sports. So that'll do it.
All right. See you.